Are you a composer who's tired of prepackaged sounds? Do you ever wish you could just invent your own unique sonic worlds completely from scratch? Well, if that sounds like you, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to be diving into a powerful tool designed to do just that, a library called PDida. But before we get into the nuts and bolts, let's just take a step back for a second. In our world of generative AI and one-click solutions, getting a result is faster than it has ever been. But it makes you wonder, right? In that mad dash for an instant answer, what happens to the actual journey of creation itself? And this slide right here really frames that modern choice perfectly. On one side, you've got the black box. You get an instant output, sure, but the how and the why are a complete mystery. And on the other side, you have conscious exploration, a transparent journey where the process, the discovery, that's the whole point. And it's right there in that second philosophy that PDida really finds its purpose. And this brings us right to our first section, Il dilemma del compositore, or the composer's dilemma. It is this exact choice between that opaque instant result and the transparent, meaningful journey. So how does PDida actually solve this dilemma? Well, it's a library that's built on top of PDida, which is this amazing visual programming language for artists. And its main goal is to handle all the really complex, low-level coding for you so you can just focus on what you do best, the creative act of composition. It's all about making these incredibly powerful tools truly accessible. Now, this entire approach is built on a core idea, which the guide calls La Filosofia Partida, the PDida philosophy. And trust me, this isn't just about code. It's a whole new way of thinking about how we make music. This quote right here, this really gets to the heart of it all. See, PDida isn't just a collection of tools. It's designed to be an educational path. It's for the artist who doesn't just want to use sounds, but who wants to truly understand them, to shape them, and to build entire sonic universes from the ground up. You know, a great way to think about PDida is as a kind of bridge. On one side, you have the raw, untamed power of the open-source pure data environment. And on the other, you have a composer's need for creative immediacy. PDida connects them. It doesn't hide the mechanics, it actually reveals them, empowering you with the knowledge of both the how and the why behind every single sound you create. So that's the philosophy, but how does it work in practice? Well, that philosophy is put into action through what the guide calls un percorso creativo, a creative path. It gives you a tangible workflow for turning all these big ideas into actual music. And what's really cool is that this creative journey isn't presented as some rigid set of rules you have to follow. No, it's framed as an act of discovery. The guide offers a structured starting point, broken down into 5 clear, logical, and flexible phases that are all designed to invite you to experiment. And here is that workflow in action. You start with the rhythmic heart, the basic pulse of your piece. From there, the generative matrix creates raw data. Then, phase 3, musical mapping, is where you translate that data into actual musical notes. In phase 4, the timbral voice, you get to design the unique character of those notes. And finally, the sonic output, where you add effects and hear it all come to life. It's just a beautiful, logical path from an abstract idea to an audible sound. Okay, so let's look at the actual tools you'll be using to build all this. And that brings us to I mattoni sonori, which translates perfectly to the sonic bricks. The concept here is really simple and kind of brilliant. Each one of those 5 phases we just talked about is supported by a set of specialized tools, which PDida calls objects. And you can think of them exactly like bricks. You choose the right ones, you combine them, and you start to construct your very own unique sonic architecture. So let's grab our first sonic brick. This one's called RR Pulsa Plus. This object is part of phase 1, and just like the slide says, it is the beating heart of your composition. Its entire job is to generate that fundamental rhythm, the pulse that drives everything else. And here's how you control that heartbeat. With RR Pulsa Plus, you basically have 3 main dials to turn. Impulse duration sets the base speed. Rhythmic variability is really cool. It introduces these human-like imperfections, a little bit of unpredictability. And phrase length defines how long a pattern goes before it repeats. Just by tweaking these 3 controls, you can sculpt anything from a rock-solid robotic groove to a complex, evolving organic pulse. All right, next up, coming from phase 3, we have an absolutely crucial tool, RMAPA Plus. If RR Pulsa Plus was the heart, you can kind of think of this object as the brain of the operation. Or maybe a better word is the sculpture. It's the thing that takes raw, abstract numbers and gives them real musical meaning. Its function is basically to be a musical translator.
So let's say your generative matrix spits out a random sequence of numbers, like 153. By themselves, they're meaningless, but our MAPA can intelligently map them onto, say, the C major scale. It ensures that whatever your algorithm creates, it still remains musically coherent and beautiful. It literally turns math into melody.
And for our final example, we've got one of the most evocative objects in the whole library, RD Dahlia. The guide calls it the gardener of harmonic landscapes. This tool is all about controlling the emotional color and the harmonic flavor of your music. And here's a look at how that gardening works. With RR Dahlia, you get to pull notes from two different harmonic pools. The light side gives you notes that are stable and bright, creating these clear, luminous harmonies. But the dark side, that pulls from notes that create more tension, more complexity, resulting in these mysterious, shadowy sounds. It means you are consciously balancing the light and the dark inside your own composition. So you take all of these sonic bricks, the heart, the sculptor, the gardener, and you combine them to achieve this grand finale, Plasminare Universi Sonori, or Shaping Sonic Universes. And this right here is maybe the most important takeaway of all. These individual tools are powerful, for sure, but they aren't the music. The real power, the magic, emerges from how you combine them. The musician's creativity is the engine. PDida gives you the parts, but you are the architect, putting them together in new and unexpected ways to create infinite possibilities. So what have we really learned today? That PDida is so much more than a software library. It's a creative partner. It's a whole philosophy that champions the journey of discovery over just getting a quick result. And most importantly, it gives you, the composer, total control over the how and the why of your sound, empowering you to sculpt sonic worlds that are truly and uniquely your own. And all of that leaves us with one final question, a question for you to take with you. With tools that open up the entire process and put all that control back into your hands, what sonic universe will you invent?